Hi everyone, Toby here, resident teaching professional at the beautiful Link Shell Cove here in the Illawarra. I'm going to talk to you today about a shot that you might find complicated, which is the high lofted shot from here landing softly on the green. But I'm going to simplify it for you in 3 easy steps to help you achieve it every single time. Let's get into it. First thing that we need to do is to make sure that we are set up correctly to hit this golf shot. One of the major differences between any shot that we hit is our setup position. So we set up for what we intend to try and make happen. So what you'll see a lot of the time when people are chipping around the greens, they get a bit nervous, the ball goes too far back in their stance and the handle is too far forward like so. So we've got to understand our objective or our primary focus here is to try and get this ball to go high and soft on the green. So we need to make sure that we're setting up accordingly for that there. So when adjusting your setup position, what we need to try and do is to have our ball middle to forward in our stance and our handle in a very neutral position like so. I also want to have a nice amount of softness in my arms in the address position. So I don't want to be too stiff like so. It's not going to allow things to move in the right way. So just like I said before, the ball a little bit forward in your stance, so middle to forward, having the handle in line with the golf ball like so, and having that club head have the ability to now, it's going to meet the golf ball with a lot more loft and not scoot across the green like so. So that is the number one thing to make sure that we are set up correctly for this golf shot. So I'm now going to get stuck and talk to you about the mechanics. It's going to look a little bit something like this here. So now we're going to get stuck into the technique side of things when trying to play this high, soft shot. So we've spoken about setting up for success when trying to play this golf shot. So now what we're going to talk about is how to return that club with loft back to the ball every time that's necessary for us to hit this over there nice and high towards the flag. So what we spoke about before in the setup is if you have your ball too far back, what's going to happen is you're going to meet the ball like this here, and it's going to come out very low lofted and not what's necessary for this golf shot. So to help try and maintain the loft and return the loft through the golf shot, I've got a couple of quick easy tips that's going to help you identify that and how to check that yourself throughout the shot. So what's going to happen is we're going to be taking our club shaft back to parallel to the ground here. What I want to feel is that the club face is looking back at me. Okay, so I'm using my 60-degree lob wedge. What would be a negative effect, right, is that the handle, if I get too much hinge, the left wrist looks down and the club face looks down. So when I overhinge too early, what's going to happen is I'm going to return the club like so. So what I want to try and feel is that that club face is looking at me here in my takeaway position like so. When I'm going to try and return that now back to the ball and not drag that handle through. And what I want to feel is that club head start to travel past my hands, okay, when coming in towards the golf ball. I'm looking now to start to land that club roughly a couple of inches behind the golf ball there and allowing that club to skim past the ground, okay, and get to my follow through position. One of the things that we see a lot with people is that they don't follow through and they might get a little bit jerky like this through the hitting area. So if that is someone like yourself, this is really going to help. So for someone who does that, what we do is to try and help maintaining the loft is that what we're going to do is we're going to go all the way through to the follow through position and create another checkpoint. So the checkpoint for me as well is that the club face is looking directly at me like so here. What I don't want to see is that that club face is turned over in this direction over there, or that the club head is down here too low. That is going to result in a really low golf shot. So quite simply, we're going to have a few practice swings, just feeling that club face look like this towards me here. Okay, and on the follow through position, the club face look towards me here like so, and hopefully we can return that club with a lot of loft. Okay, the third thing I'm going to talk to you today about, guys, is after we've gone setup and the loft, okay, and maintaining that loft throughout the stroke, is how to actually do this with the pressures in your arms. So one of the first things that happens when we come into this shot here is we get a little bit nervous. We start to think to ourselves, uh-oh, this is a bit of a tricky shot. I don't like this one. It's tricky to play. And we tense up in our arms. One of the terminologies that I use a lot with a lot of my students is we call it long and soft through here. Okay, so when I mean long and soft is that I'm swinging the club and letting that club head feel nice and heavy on the way through like so. So letting that club head feel heavy, okay, and being nice and soft in my arms and allowing that club to swing past me. If I get too hard with my hands like this, what's going to happen is I pull on that handle and I'm not allowing that club head to swing past, and I'm going to get, once again, another low shot, which is potentially going to be causing that duff. So when I make this shot, I sometimes even like to feel with my eyes closed and allowing this club just to kind of swing past me like so, getting nice and soft there. So once again, those three things to incorporate for us to try and play this shot is to have the ball middle to forward in your stance. Okay, having the golf shaft in a very neutral position. So that is setup number one. Number two, what we're going to do is we're going to have that club looking at us here in the backswing, okay, and then have our club looking at us here in the follow-through position, making sure that we take ownership and hit this checkpoint, okay. And the third thing is to maintain nice and soft arms through here and allow that club to swing past and delivering it just a little bit behind the ball. Should look something just like this. Thanks everyone. If this has felt like it's going to help you in your game, please click that like button and click the subscribe. And thank you very much for watching. I very much appreciate it. Thank you.